right, so we talked about using some of the military equipment on the farm, and so this is one of the first ones that they used. This is a World War II military army truck, and they used it to haul mint hay away from the distill for mint harvest, and also used it for hauling potatoes out of the field, but didn't do that for very long. So this is one of the vehicles we'll put in the Memorial Day parade, and then also to haul some of the North Judson football team members through they're the parade marshals for the 2025 Mint Festival, and so some of them will get to ride in the World War II Army truck. Yeah, my dad drove this truck when he was in high school, and he was also captain of the first North Judson football team. So quite a bit of history with that vehicle. Leaves as it's like them to get cured and dry, and that's about just right. They're dry, but they're not brittle. Otherwise, if they get too dry, they just become dust. So that's just right. Depends how much rain we get. It looks like it's clearing up, so we're not going to get too much. Just going to put the hay wet. But if you get too much, the field's going to be muddy where you can't chop. Or the hay, you gotta let the hay dry, so whether it can be a few hours or a day or two. And depends how much rain and how hard, you can lose like 50% of the oil. Usually let it cure a day or two, and so what we're gonna pick up today was up to the orange cone. And this was just mowed yesterday, so it's still on a little bit green yet. Need a little today, and we'll chop it that tomorrow. So we only have a few more rows here that we would have picked up. So we'll have to see. We're still talking like mid-90s, sunny, so it's clearing up already. The cell's moving through, so maybe after lunch this afternoon we can finish those. We'll just have to see what monitor it and see what it's like. But we need the rain. This heat. Crop at this stage needs corn is tasseling, so it's shooting ears. It uses the most water right now. We haven't had any rain here for
Matt had said it would be dry.
2 weeks here, over 2 weeks. See how dry, brown the grass is. But just like that, a 10-20 minute rain shower could, can either lose some oil or can discolor it. It can affect the quality of the oil, not to mention lose yield. It's all in a 15-20 minute window.
Yeah.
We got exposure for the whole year. So we were able to start chopping here this morning with the we'll come back here. I got a guy just brought 2 tubs up. Oh, he's getting ready to pull those out, so I'll give him a hand pulling those out then. I'll go ahead and pull these out, and then you can guide right in then. Chopped in the bag and bring them in with steam to it, so steam goes in the bottom and then rises up through the top, and we collect it through that line there. It comes in the top of this condenser. So there's tubes in the center there. Steam goes down through, the cold water circulates around it, so then you get oil and water coming out of here. So the goes down and the oil separates out. So you can see this is oil coming out right now. So the oil's down to about right here out of that wagon.
It is like a weird smell of like minty silage, which is what it is, but
It's got a little stronger odor in here than it does out in the field.
yeah.
So it usually takes 20 to 30 minutes to get steam through the tub.
Okay.
So it's where the water overflow starts running. And then hour to hour and a half to get all the oil out of the wagon. Depending on the condition of hay and some of those. Then you saw once it's done, you start to drain the oil off into the barrel. And then turn the steam off, unhook the hoses. After you saw that process earlier, in order to pull that one out, bring the next one in there. What's that happened last Friday? It was like the best chance of rain. It was Friday night. So we cut Wednesday, started chopping first thing, and then about 9 o'clock it started raining. So it didn't rain much, but just enough to wet the hay. So why not get out here and go up. Push up in a pile, and then in the wintertime we'll broadcast it back across the field. So this is I think you were out this spring showing you some of the mint hay that we spread. Put the organic matter back on the field, and then it also helps for control erosion. Let's take a look at this. You can see these are the seam pipes. About length of the floor. There's that header up there. Hook a hose up. Steam goes across and comes down these pipes. And there's holes in here that lets the steam out. So it can rise up through the head.
Cool.
And then with the hole in the front, the conductor hose, all the vapor goes out there. That tub will be ready to go back to the field to get filled back up. Shake the water off of it right now. Of course, it just got done raining, so but you know the leaves were wilted, so the hay was in nice shape. It wasn't overly dry.
Yeah, we looked at it right before it started raining.
Right before it rained, yeah. So depends what. There's a little bit of a breeze. If the sun does come out, and they're still forecasting it for it to be 90s here this afternoon, so it might change, or we maybe just have to wait till tomorrow, let it dry then. So keep monitoring it and seeing what we can do, and then just have to feel the leaves dry. Hopefully we don't have to. Sometimes we have to rake it or ted it, lift it up, and get some air to it because that rain will pack it down, and then it's hard to get. These windrows are nice because they're laid out, but sometimes it packs in there and then you got to get some air to it. So they bored the natural gas pipeline underneath the ditch, or this spring. And so they finished up here beginning of July. So now we got to do a project assessment to see compensation for loss of crop and compaction and any of the damages that were incurred while doing it. So you can see all the weeds, so we're going to get those killed off before they go to seed. Otherwise, we're going to have weed issues for the next 2 to 3 years. The problem was we did spray it, but we had to wait till evening when they weren't working. So, and we had one of the pop-up showers. It got rain before the rain fastest period was up, and then they wash some of the product off and then kill the weeds. So crops, like I said, we haven't had rain for about 2 weeks, so now's when the corn's tasseling and using the most water. So we need some rain to fill out the ear and produce the ear and keep the beans growing. So we need some cooperation from Mother Nature to fill out the crop and finish it. So, like I say, it was warm before, so the plants were really growing and getting the heat units, and then it turned cold, and so everything kind of sat there, and the weeds were growing, and that made them tough to kill. So we had a lot of resprays and a lot of issues there with controlling the pig weeds and weeds in the fields. It impacts the yield. It's competition for the crop, and then depends on how weedy it is. It makes harvest go a lot slower. But that means, filling sprayers in May. We had one meter. We got the bill for May, and we used 100 kilowatts less power, but the dollar amount was 3.5 times higher than the previous 2 years for that same month. If it was, the only thing I think we used that power for was the well to fill our sprayer, and we're so limited on, if it's windy you can't spray, if it's raining you can't spray, if the fields are muddy you can't spray.
Yeah, you're on Mother Nature's time clock at that point.
And so, but it cost us 3.5 times for that 1 month. So, like last week, we were planning on having the mint harvested before 4 o'clock, but then when it rained, we had to let it dry. And so by the time the hay dried and we got it distilled, we were a half hour into that period. And so that's at the rate for the whole month of July now. So everything we're using now is at the higher rate. So our cost of production just went up. Even though we got solar panels and done LED lights and those things to reduce our energy cost, It's just the time that we're using it. So they're starting to flower. They're flowering, and so at each flower, they're also starting to set pods. So these beans need moisture then to continue to flower and continue to set pods, and then once those pods are set, then you got to fill those pods with beans. These right now, they're really, I don't know if I can open it, but they're really tiny.
Yeah.
So you need moisture, especially now through August. There's a little tiny start of a bean, and so we need moisture to fill those out. So yeah, this is the stage of corn we're at now. This was the one of the first fields planted. You probably got, did you get video of this field?
I think so.
Yeah. And so here we are in July, and now at this stage, this is the looking at the tasseling, and at the same time that it's shooting ears. The tassel, to pollinate the ear, produce the kernels. And so we're looking at leaf. The health of the leaf, is nice and green. We're not seeing nutrient deficiencies, and we're also looking for disease pressure at this time, whether it's gray leaf spot or northern leaf blight or tar spot. But right now, the leaf looks pretty clean and healthy, which is what we're looking for. And then the ears are coming out, so see if it's tasseled or if it's pollinated. Peel back the but that's right now the plant is using the growth cycle the most water so those silks pollinating that kernel. And I don't know if that was the best. It was a quick test, but if all the silks come off, then we know that it's pollinated. So now it's just a matter of getting enough moisture to fill all those kernels out. So that's why we needed the rain for corn and bean crop, but didn't need it for picking up that hay today.